What do you want?
Hello and welcome to another week of What the Fuck Do You Want? And I'd like to start this week off with a little public notice. Recently we had Average Joe on to talk about his game Edge of Valagoria, and yes, the demo is out now, so get out there, wishlist it, play the demo, or I'll call around to your house and punch you in the throat. Thankfully, our guest this week isn't going to get punched in the throat because they've both wishlisted and played the fucking demo several times. This week we have the one, the only, the sensual James.
The Central? Wow, okay.
I was hoping I would slip that unnoticed, but now you've brought attention to it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was
you are
quite
quite sensual.
Central, wow. I've never been called that before. I don't even know what that means.
I want to lick your face.
Okay.
Did not land.
No. Apologies, sorry. Hello. Yes, it is I.
And how would people know your lovely fucking voice?
Probably don't, because no one watches my content.
Oh, good. Call them out, pricks.
yeah, arseholes. What else should you be doing? Yes, I'm James from How to Game Differently on YouTube. I make random videos online like everyone else seems to does. And, yeah. That's about it, really. Don't do anything else.
What more do you want
life.
from me?
Yeah, exactly. I try my best.
And it fell short.
Yeah. Don't know why I keep going.
So, are you okay apart from having your feelings hurt a little bit?
Yeah, I'll get over it, I think. I think I'll survive.
Good.
But, yeah.
You're my little soldier. My little sensual soldier.
This is getting interesting. Okay, anyway, yes.
But with all that out of the way, James, what the fuck do you want?
I really, really want a brand new Beast Wars Transformers series.
What the fuck is that?
Well, if you were growing up in the 90s, you may have watched a series called Beast Wars.
I did, and I didn't.
You didn't? You didn't?
I never saw this. Looking back, I definitely saw it, but I don't think I ever watched it through. Can you explain it to me like I'm a drunken idiot? Because, spoilers.
Yeah, you are one. So for those that don't know, Beast Wars is a prequel/sequel of the original Transformers series that came out in the 80s. This one is different on the basis that instead of them turning into vehicles, they turn into animals, so robots turning into animals. But yeah, so it came out late 90s and had about 3 series, and then they stopped. Went on to a thing called Beast Machines, which was absolutely terrible. And then they just never did anything with it ever again. They just seemed to just throw it in the back of the cupboard and forgot about it, even though it pretty much saved the franchise of Transformers. But hey-ho.
So, doing a bit of homework for this one, I came across a YouTube channel called Al's Replay.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems to be like AI upscaled episodes.
Yeah.
So they're in 4K.
I know, it's great. Funny enough, like YouTube, Transformers official YouTube channel has just started putting the episodes on there as well, but it's not 4K. So yeah, the website, the channel you just said about, the best way to watch them, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on Al's Replay because I've seen things like Metabots in 4K or 1080p. All the things I never got into as a child. I think it's just maybe I didn't have Sky. I say, oh yeah, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
I think it was on ITV.
Well, if it wasn't on UTV, I didn't fucking get it.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, actually. Sorry about that.
We blew up all our cartoons.
Well, not to say there's no explosions in this series at all.
Yes, it would have just triggered us. Massive robots in disguise roaming the streets of Ulster. Although there's a show in there.
I was going to say, I think you got an idea, money-making idea there.
I'll cut that bit out. I'll save it from my back pocket. So the first thing that jumps out is this is CGI, an early CGI show.
Yes, yeah, for good and bad.
Fucking amazing in 4K. How did they do that in the 90s?
Well, yeah. To be fair, like this is like one of the very early CGI only TV series, and
like
it was
this
done.
wouldn't have been far away from Toy Story's release, time-wise.
Yeah, pretty
Toy
close, I
Story's
would have thought.
95.
Yeah, this came out in 96, so yeah, only a year later. I can't remember the name of the studio. It's a Canadian studio. They've done a few other series. I forgot what it's called now. There's some weird blue character with silver hair. Can't remember his name now.
Johnny Quest.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. People in the comments would be like, "It's fucking this."
I always love doing that at podcasts.
Yeah, outrage. Why?
How are you
Why
so
don't you know this?
fucking simple? I know the answer to that, you bollocks.
Exactly.
Bluey
but
silver hair.
Yeah, but no, they were like masters at kind of doing CGI and stuff. But yes, some of the later scenes, some of the later characters aren't that well done. But the main cast, they did a fantastic job of doing the CGI and the storytelling and voice acting. The voices were just incredible for the characters.
Yeah, in the few episodes that I did catch, they really seem to be having a fun time with this.
Yeah, exactly. And so a little bit of like background. I've interviewed the cast, two of the cast members, David Kay and Gary Chalk, who played Megatron and Optimus in the series, and they were both just telling me how much fun they had. Like, it was the most fun they've ever had.
Came across.
They absolutely enjoyed it, and it was like one of the very first things they had ever done as well. So yeah, no,
I wouldn't have guessed early performances.
Well, they'd done like radio stuff, radio stories and theatre and stuff. So they had that background, but it was like the first time doing a TV kind of thing for quite a lot of them. But yeah, no, they all had a lot of fun. And I know there was the guy who plays Rat Trap. I'm just getting his list up now. Hang on.
That prick.
Yeah, so there's a guy called Scott McNeil. So he voices Rat Trap, Dinobot, Waspinator, Silverbolt, and I won't spoil the last character because it's kind of spoils a bit too much. But he voices them all. And the fact you wouldn't have guessed it was him either.
No, I would not have thought. Waspinator's my favourite. I've only watched a couple of episodes, but yes, I have a favourite now. I would not have guessed those two were the same, and I'd like to think I've developed an alright ear for audio after almost 100 episodes.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he's that talented. And yet he's not really done anything since then, which is quite surprising for such a talented voice actor, which is a shame. But great cast of voice actors. It was quite incredible. Speaking
of favourites, did you have one?
Cheetle. Being a kid growing up that time, you resonate to Cheetle because he is the child figure in the series, and as they do in all these series, he matures, he kind of gets a bit of leadership and all that type of stuff, so you kind of just resonate with that type of character. Yeah,
there's a real bid for leadership, at least in the early episodes. They always seem to be wanting to contend to become leader.
Yeah, and I quite like that because it gave everyone a bit of an opportunity to kind of show what they could do and stuff, like Dinobot being a Predacon, so they had Maximals versus Predacons instead of Decepticons versus Autobots, which was the original Transformers thing. Yeah, they had the Dinobot who was a villain who became a hero, but he still wanted to do things his way. He still wanted to kill instead of, just
that's the only way to achieve peace.
Well, yeah, in some cases. But yeah, so there's that back and throwing, but then he learns empathy through various things in the series, which is spoilers in a way, but he actually protects the human race. So in the story, he's the reason why the humans continue in the world.
So he's the fucking blame.
Yeah, he's the one to blame.
He caused Brexit, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Damn it, Dinobot. Why didn't
you just stop and fucking think of what you were doing?
Who knew what disaster was going to come about with us,
Because I didn't expect a lot of depth from a cartoon. I would have enjoyed the likes of the Turtles, and although there were a few leadership bids and growing done there, I don't think there was anything quite like what they handled.
Yeah, well, again, it was a lot of character development with a lot of the different, all the different characters. You had, because the backstory is, the Maximals aren't even warriors. They were just there at the time where Megatron and the Decepticons were just going to do this evil thing. They were the closest ship to, get in there, try and stop them in the way. But yeah, they weren't heroes. They weren't anything. They were just like a random crew that were just sod's law had to be just there.
Have you ever seen the video of the puppet? I think it's on CBBC with we're just men.
Yeah. We're just ordinary men.
We're just ordinary Autobots. We're just innocent Autobots.
Why are we dealing with this shit?
I guess we've kind of gone on a little bit without explaining the main thing, what makes them beasts. Both the bad guys and the good guys have crashed on the planet. They are robots, but they can't stay in their robot forms for too long because of a strange element.
Yeah, the energon. So that's like their power source.
They have to turn into these animal forms to stay on the planet.
That's right, yeah.
I paid attention.
Yeah, you did. I'm impressed for only watching a few episodes. It sounds like you're a fan already, you know.
Not gonna lie, it was doing things for me. I'd say if I caught this the original time, yeah.
Yeah, you would have been in there with all the toys.
I could have had voice actors on this fucking show.
Instead of idiots like us, eh? But yeah. So the whole plot base is that they come to prehistoric Earth, where energon is raw. It's raw. They call it raw energon. So it's untapped.
Fucking
it's
raw.
untamed. Yeah, raw. So it affects the body negatively, and the only way to combat that is having a natural skin, organic, that's what they call it, an organic skin, so they turn into the animals to fend
because
off.
they scan the entire planet for life beings.
Yeah, which is funny on the basis that you have the Autobots that just go for mammals. So Rat Trap goes for a rat of all animals on Earth. You know, you could have gone for a lion. You could have gone for an elephant.
Would you like the lemur? Fuck you! I'm going rat.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the Decepticons. It's like Megatron's like, yeah, fucking T-Rex, mate. That's what I'm going with.
But I didn't see T-Rex on the menu. I would have went for that.
But yeah, it was just quite funny, some of the choices they go with. Later, it kind of explains why they go with them, because it's just like the closest animal in the area when they introduce more characters to the series. But yeah, no, it's quite interesting. And then they eventually have different forms that they turn into, more powerful forms, and then eventually they meet the original generation G1 80s cartoon Transformers as well, which is kind of like the prequel sequel kind of series part of it all.
And does it bridge? I had Transformer toys growing up, but I don't really remember catching too much of the show. Does it bridge up well, or? It
does. They do it in a way that it doesn't actually interfere with the original, which I think's the perfect way of doing it.
If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a lot of the original fans that were really angry about this direction.
What? No.
I know.
Sure,
I know.
Not. They didn't even have the internet.
Well, they found ways to bitch about it, I tell you.
Fandom anger was only born on GeoCities, kitty.
But the slogan was "Trock, not monkey." That was their slogan.
Oh, there's a drunken T-shirt that's going to be bought.
There's already several of these been made. I need to purchase one myself, but I like Beast Wars too much. But a lot of fans weren't happy with the direction, whilst there was me, a little kid, watching it, thinking it was the greatest thing in the world, and still do.
That's always the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it me trying to spit in Chris Pratt as people are going to the Mario movie?
Yeah, but you're doing it for the right cause, because I'm the same. Like, even the most recent trailer, I still
sounds so fucking bored. And again, I'm not foaming with anger. Like, I'm going to go see the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I say, you had the chance to fucking voice Mario, you bollocks. Wake up.
But the weird thing is, even in the interviews, he just seems so lifeless and very...
He's quite a sedated chap.
Yeah. And then you got Jack Black dressing up as Bowser saying, yeah, I can't wait, this is amazing, you know, this is what I'm born to do, kind of thing.
I will stop bringing this up.
Going off topic.
With Transformers being the show designed to just be an advert to sell toys to people and nothing more of any substance, did you have any toys for this?
How dare you say such a thing? That's absolutely correct. Yes.
That's the worst type of truth.
Yes, the ones that really get you. I had pretty much nearly all the toys, to be honest with you, and quite sad that they'd recently actually been doing a new series of toys of Beast Wars, because they brought Beast Wars back for a Netflix series, which was called Transformers Kingdom, which had them with the Autobots. It was just like this very bizarre story. A lot of fans didn't like the series at all, which I completely don't blame. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it was pretty out there.
Oh, it's okay when you're the fucking angry fan, is this it?
Isn't that what growing up's all about? Like, once you're in your 30s, it's okay to be the one that's annoyed at everything? I thought that was the rule.
You had to wait until your 30s.
Oh, you telling me I could have done it early? Fuck.
Mainline piss and vinegar from your teenage years on.
Ah, damn it. If only I knew. I would have been doing it sooner. But anyway,
turn back time.
Yeah. But no, they kind of made these modern versions of the toys, and they absolutely look amazing.
Because even the animations in this show, when they're going, because they do that kind of Power Rangers thing where they transform, although they probably did it before Power Rangers, but sure, what is time? But the way they animated it and turned, it was real. The dimensions matched.
If you look at it, get a toy and get the series, they're practically identical.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, they did such a great job designing it and made it look like they weren't toys as well, but yet they still had the full function of the toy. And like I say, these new modern versions of them look even better, but I just don't have the money for that. Got a bloody mortgage to pay, you know. But yeah, so there's been a slight resurgence around Beast Wars. Like I say, they did as additional characters for this Kingdom series, which some voice acting good. So, like, if you listen to David Kaye as Megatron in the original, and then you put the new voice actor for the series, you will just get so enraged. And I'm not even saying that everyone was the same, because they did Megatron dirty in that new series. But
and I have to say, the few episodes that I did catch, it was the voice acting I'd put up there. They went above and beyond. So that's was there any reasons given why they didn't use the same cast?
I don't know. And it was weird, because when I interviewed Gary Chalk, and I didn't keep hitting the interview because I wanted to keep him looking like he was quite a nice individual, right? But there was a segment when he got really, really angry.
Really racist?
No, he was... No. He was just really pissed off with the fact that he couldn't voice Optimus Prime, and he was just like, "What? Could they just not pick up the phone? I would have done it for free," you know. And he was just really hammering on and quite angry about it. I was like,
"Well, you would be. You voice something. You're putting a bit of yourself into that character."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was a shame. And even with the new movie that's coming out, that's got some Beast War characters in there, they're still not using any of the original voice actors, even though they've still got the original voice of Optimus Prime, as in like the 80s cartoon, you know, in it, and yet they don't use anyone else. It just seems bizarre to me. I can't remember what I was saying now. So there's been
something about racism.
We're British, that's what we talk about, isn't it? But so there's been a bit of a resurgence. They had a really good comic book series that kind of rebooted the whole Beast Wars lore and added some extra characters, and that was really good comic. And then, like I say, they've been sprinkling characters in a few Transformers series here and there, but they haven't had a dedicated Beast Wars TV series, which it's just a shame that they just haven't. I have a feeling they might, because of all this like additional Beast Wars stuff. That
in-between's almost worse than not doing anything, when there is the teasing of your character still being in the mix.
Yeah, exactly.
But no full commitment to it. That can be frustrating.
Yeah, it can be. It really can be, especially as some of the recent series, like, again, don't get me wrong, this is a kids show. It's for kids, but my God, some of the series are crap. Like, just utter crap, some of the stuff they come out with, and try to be, you know, relevant with like references of TikTok and all sorts of nonsense. It's like, just...
You can go back and watch these shows. I never watched the run of this originally. Going back, there was no real shock from the dialogue that this is, or the fucking visuals, despite being in 4K, were a bit of a whoa. Yeah. It was the cheetah running scene.
Oh yeah.
And the two cheetahs look over at him and their eyes kind of bug out. And I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That has dated somewhat.
It has, but it was obviously that cartoon kind of esque into a CGI, wasn't it?
Especially very early too. It's not like they could really learn much from other products. But things like that age, the dialogue, the story beats were timeless.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the best things about it, that there's no humans as well.
Which I think heaven.
And it's funny because I say this to my dad, that like, you watch Godzilla as a film, right? Absolutely great seeing Godzilla destroying cities, fighting monsters, and then they keep panning to these human characters to try and flesh it out. I'm like, I don't care about these people.
Unless they're getting stood on.
Yeah, exactly. As long as the collateral damage.
That's a thropic episode, this.
But yeah, there's no humans. There's no like reference that there's like cave people that, they're kind of like the apes era of people. But yeah, there's no annoying kids in there.
Like, fuck.
There's no grumpy old people or anything like that. It's just pure robots fighting each other, which is like, you don't really get that much anymore nowadays, sadly.
No, there's always annoying sidekicks and explosion
exactly.
And just robots, explosions.
Yeah, just get
Waspinator.
Which interesting enough, they were going to get rid of. They were going to remove him from the series.
Over my dead fucking body.
And it was his voice, because they thought no one was going to be able to understand him, and they just like said, "Oh, we can't use this character. We need to get rid of him." But because of popular demand and just how many people just said how fantastic of a character he was in the entire series throughout, and he had one of the best story arcs in the whole entire series as well, for a character that was a bit of like a butt of every joke, because he would always get exploded. It would just be his head and then somehow form back together. And yet, if any other character did that, they would be dead. They would never come back.
That's because Waspinator's hard as fuck. Yeah. He's the best one. I already know which one would have been my favourite if I'd watched this as a child.
Yeah, exactly.
One part I did see a lot of people cited this. IGN apparently attacked it because it had the same basic story template as previous series in the franchise.
Like, fuck, it did. No, it didn't.
So you did not agree?
No. Where did they get that idea from?
I'm not sure, because they touted it as a soft reboot of like the original series.
Yeah. But that was its whole premise, because people were supposedly bored of Transformers. No one was buying the toys, no one was buying the comics or anything like that. So they were like, right, we need to start fresh, get kids into this, because that's where people make money. Look at the biggest companies in the world that have the most money. They all sell toys and merch for children.
Oh, yeah. Kids are the only people with money, it seems.
Yeah.
Lazy fucks.
Yeah, they'll buy anything. So so it was like, how can we get kids to buy new products, but yet keep Transformers, as well as keep the copyright for a lot of the names. So a lot of the character names have similar character names to the original Transformers series, like Optimus Prime and Megatron. Like, you never want to lose that copyright, because it's going to be near impossible to get back, or else you'd be forking out an absolute ton of money. And they do that with the toys as well. So they release random toys that had random names that were just in the original series, just to keep that name. Which is quite a common practice with a lot of things, to be fair.
Yeah, if Waspinator ever went up in market, I think I'd grab that as a mascot.
You and everyone else. But there was a few cuts of, like, again, you had the goodies versus the baddies, but the difference was, like, at the beginning you had a 5 versus 5. There was always 5 characters, and then they slightly introduced a couple more, so I think the maximum was maybe 8 versus 8, so not exactly big numbers. Whereas the original had like 30 versus 30, if not hundreds versus hundreds, so there was that difference. And the fact that Beast Wars actually had character development, because the original one didn't really have that much character development. I'm sure I'm going to get slated for that, but
it's only the internet, it's always angry.
But a lot of the characters are very two-dimensional in the original, whilst this one, they actually had quite a lot of emotions. They actually had relationships. You wouldn't have got to this bit yet, but they have a female Predacon as one of the villains, have a romance, like a Romeo-Juliet romance with a Maximal. And
they're fucking robots.
I know, but there is still... It was like the introduction to like robots having romance with each other. the fucking internet loves that type of shit, you know.
Yes, this Rule 34 episode is going to happen sooner or later.
Oh,
it's
keep
been
me out of that
referenced
one.
far too much.
Oh, scares me some of the stuff people make out there, I'll be honest with you. But
Such talent. Squandered, some would say.
yeah, in some ways, yeah. Yeah, like I say, there was a lot of emotions and actual feelings from these characters and actual relationship building. Because, again, like Dinobot and Rat Trap hated each other at the beginning, and then they got put into a few scenarios, and then they were like,
they started a romance.
Well, they might have done if certain things didn't happen, which I won't spoil. But, but no, they actually they had straight up respect for each other, and then that you know they teamed up quite a lot of times, and they were such a really good duo together. So yeah,
brilliant to have developments like that in a show, and they actually stick to it as well.
Yeah,
it goes forward with the show
exactly, and they don't backtrack to ruin anything they've put into it either. You know, it's very consistent until they do Beast Machines, which is the sequel, and like I said at the beginning.
Well, we will not talk about what you don't fucking want, but we do quite a speedy judging by the time what the fuck you do want.
Like I say, bring back Beast Wars as a TV series. Just have it pure Beast Wars. Don't have the rest of the old Transformers thing. Keep humans out of it, because they just ruin
everything. So you don't want the multiverse of Beast Wars?
No, just follow the comic that came out. The comic was perfect. Go back to that comic, use that as your reference, and animate it, and you're done. And bring back the original cast if you can. That's all I want.
No, if you can. This is what the fuck you want.
Okay, yeah.
Bring back the original cast. You can't.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
Punch in the throat.
Somehow. Have we got that technology? We can punch through the screen and it comes out?
This is my fantasy world. You definitely have the technology to punch anybody over a smartphone.
Okay.
Somebody trying to take a fucking selfie. Concussion.
Yes, I like that idea. I will
you
fund
would
that.
not if I had full control of it. Anybody trying to take a picture of a bagel gets slapped.
Yeah, but I like bagels.
Do you like taking pictures of them?
Anyway, moving on. So
Backhanded the bagel. Again, off topic. That's a lovely what the fuck you would like.
This episode is now, what the fuck do you want? I want a bagel.
You want a slap. People will want to hear more of you after this. Where would they find more of you?
You can find me on YouTube on How to Game Differently. I can't tell you when videos will come out. It's as of when I can be bothered, which I know is really selling it.
I like that.
I'm really selling myself here. Yeah, so I do videos of various video game stuff. I showcase nerdy locations around the UK, and I occasionally do a few interviews with different people as well. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well at How to Game Differently.
Yes, I will have a lot of links in the show notes in case you're too lazy to Google.
Yeah, that's me. I'm too lazy to Google.
Just give it to me. You unboxed a copy of Tales of Symphonia recently.
Yes.
Was that more fun than the game?
Well, this version, yes.
They did that dirty.
Dreadful. They did it dirty. Like, this is my most favourite game ever.
Oh, yeah, I had it for the GameCube. I adored it.
Oh, yeah. There's so many things wrong. It's the Switch version as well. That's wrong. I could go off on a completely different tangent about how
tune in tomorrow for part 2.
What I really want is Tales of to be good again. But yeah, no, yeah, they have done it dirty. But I am enjoying replaying it again on the Switch.
Through the tears
Of sadness.
That was a really negative note to leave off on. Anything to pick it back up?
Something you should play is The Edge of Algoria. Definitely play, that one, because funny enough, I voiced and created the trailer for the game, the first one. That's not allowed to be on anywhere because there's boobs.
Pixelated booty.
Yeah, I have to say, I loved saying that line.
Well, that was a good way to avoid a punch in the throat.
Yes, definitely.
Brought us full circle.
Yes, yes, right at the beginning. And as a hot tip, if you have your main character called Arthur and your dog called Merlin, as in King Arthur, Merlin the Wizard, you unlock a secret boss designed around me. And that's all I can say.
How come I don't have a fucking secret boss?
It's because you don't know Joey as well as me. We're like that. We're close in bed. I mean, what? Hang on. No, I shouldn't have said that.
Sensible. Well, James, it's been an absolute delight.
Thank you for having me.
You were waiting for more there. But I'm afraid until next time, and hopefully there is a next time, get fucked.